The terrible twos are known to be a stage in a child's life where they undergo major intellectual, social, emotional, and motor changes. During this stage of life, Nolan Knockreiner was a healthy 2-year-old boy, that is, until he was diagnosed with transverse myelitis. Within an hour of losing feeling in his hands, he became paralyzed from the neck down.
I remember when we were still inpatient at the hospital with him, one of the neurologists said, "We can't predict what recovery is going to look like for your child. There's a spectrum. Some there's zero recovery, some there's complete recovery." And Nolan's case was so severe that he said, best case scenario, your son falls somewhere in the middle.
The message that we received from the doctors there was to not really expect much recovery, and any recovery that we saw was going to happen within a relatively short period of time, and that there would be nothing after that, which we understood. It's their job to kind of prepare you for the worst, but at the same time, we weren't going to accept that for him.
Transverse myelitis is an inflammation of the spinal cord, which is a major part of Nolan's nervous system. When the spinal cord is disrupted, nerve signals from the brain cannot connect with other nerves in the body. Nolan attends occupational and physical therapy 5 days a week for 2 hours a day. Therapists at the Children's Institute of Pittsburgh do not believe Nolan can get better or heal.
1, 2, 3, go!
We're having a hard time getting buy-in from the therapists that we have here that Nolan can get better. So unfortunately, you're going to have to fight that fight and be an advocate for your child in every area of their life so that others around you can believe it too. And I think that makes a world of difference, I believe. You'd be surprised. You would think a therapist's job is to believe in your child, but therapy for these kids is to bridge the gap between what they can do and what they need to do. Their job is to get him independent where he is now, where we are always pushing for that next step of recovery, which might change the plan and is more difficult for them because what they were planning last month is different because now he has more movement or different movement.
Because of the doubt in Pittsburgh, the Knockreiners plan on moving to Kentucky to receive therapy at the Fraser Rehab Institute. They had spent a year in Kentucky and saw major improvement.
So the facility that we take him to in Kentucky believes that paralysis is only secondary to being immobile, which you have to think about that. So you're only paralyzed because you're immobile. So if you become mobile again, even passively, you can change that paralysis. So it's not the initial event of becoming paralyzed that keeps them paralyzed. It's just the fact that they're no longer mobile after being paralyzed. So we know of cases where people have recovered, and I don't expect for Nolan to be the captain of the football team when he's 10 years from now. But I would like him to have independent use of his arms. I would like him to be in a manual wheelchair. I would like him to move out of my house one day, just like he should, like any college-age kid his age will do eventually. So we have realistic expectations, but we're always sort of pushing the envelope to get better and to challenge the therapists around us to believe that too.
Some may say that the life of Nolan and his family isn't normal, but the Knockreiners disagree.
Our life is really normal. And the kids in Nolan's preschool class don't know him any different, and Nolan is just Nolan. And I think it's easy as a parent to get caught up in what could have been and what isn't, and that will hold you back, and that will hold your children back. So life can be normal. It's a new normal, it's a different normal, but it's very normal for us. We've settled in, and this is what it is, and we don't dwell on it, and we look forward. And I think some people have a really hard time moving past that loss. And we have bad days too, but by and large, we're just looking forward instead of what we or he missed out on because of what has happened.
The love given from Nolan's family, friends, and therapists allows Nolan's condition to improve a little bit more every day. They are hopeful that it's only a matter of time before Nolan takes a major step on the road to recovery.